Hi, this is Sean Ray with Sean Ray Realty, and today we're going to be checking out my house that's made over $10,000 in 1 month. Let's get into it. All right, so don't mind the mess. The cleaner just got here. My guest just left. But in this video, I'm going to be showing you around the upstairs and downstairs and the backyard of this house that I call it like the party house. The code name for it is called the Norma House because it's right next to Norma's Cafe over in the Dallas area. And then the second part of the video, I'm going to be breaking down step by step how I bought the house, how much it costs, how much I make, and also how you can do the same thing. All right, let's check out the kitchen. So what I love so much about this house is that it's so huge. We fit over 100 people in here at any of my personal parties. Now, when you have Airbnb homes, they are your homes. And so if you don't choose to rent them out every single day, then you don't have to. And so I've done many personal parties with hundreds of people here. The last party I did was a Gatsby party, and it had like 120, 130 people here. And basically I have a free event space just to have my friends go over and party. But on the weekends, if I want to, I can rent it out. And that gives me thousands of dollars just basically to have a house for free to party in. So this is my favorite part of the house. It's the backyard. So I first bought this house in December. The very end of December is when we closed on it. But it took, the contractor said it would take maybe 2 months to finish out the whole build out of this place. But it took more than 3 months. So we didn't even get this thing listed from the end of December till about our first booking by I mean my right and left hand, I suppose. I don't know what I'm talking about. But my first booking was March 31st. And so really it didn't start until April because it just took so long to build out this backyard and some of the stuff that happened in the kitchen. Initially, this place just had this backyard area, and I got these stumps from my neighbor that was cutting down his tree. So I figured, wouldn't it be cool if I just put a whole bunch of like circle of the stumps and a big old bonfire in the middle? Thought that'd be pretty cool. And then I wanted there to be 5 bedrooms on this property. It's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath. And I was like, wouldn't it be cool if there was 5 bedrooms? So I wanted to build a tiny home where the fire pit is, but I sourced it out, and the amount of stress it would take to build a tiny home at the time just wasn't worth it. So I was like, what if I just got a big old teepee and just put an air conditioner in it? And so turns out teepees are kind of expensive, especially if you get like a good teepee. But I found this yurt online for like less than $1,000. I was like, a yurt, teepee, no one's gonna know the difference. It looks like a freaking carnival, like a circus. And so I decided to make this yurt into an air-conditioned, like constant, like a tent, like a tent for adults. Let's take a look inside. So yeah, this is basically it. I somehow got 2 beds in here, which is pretty awesome. And it was humid for a long time, and so I got myself a portable air conditioning unit. And this was really smash hit. People love this thing. Surprisingly, people have had no complaints about it. At first, it was on the ground, on the grass, and then we had some issues with mold and like water getting in and stuff like that. So I built a deck for it, and then I re-put it up with the deck. It's a little dirty right now, but you get the general idea. Let's go check out the decks. That was the second part of the construction process. So I later installed the lights, the poles, and everything when I did the deck as well. So I did the deck just so we elevate the yurt off the ground, and so it also takes care of some of the insects issues as well. And then while I was at it, I was like, yeah, screw it. And so I built a deck over here too, because there's like a big old area that I wasn't using. And so this is kind of like more of an entertainment area. I have some furniture here for people to sit down on. And then I also have a nice little hammock. And I just found out something. Woo! So I have a no smoking policy for cigarettes, and each cigarette on my listing has to pay $50. And so I could pretty much count all these up, 50, 100, 150, 200. I can just make like an extra $1,000 right here just because this little Niagara bottle. This Niagara bottle is pouring waterfalls of money onto me. Thank you. I also have these picnic tables. I have access to other picnic tables as well, which is nice. The pictures that I have online make it look like a really friendly place for people to do kind of weddings and wedding parties. So a lot of the people that book this place are people doing birthday parties and wedding parties and all sorts of different bridal stuff. And so it turned out well. If I were to go back and do it all over again, then I would get larger washer and dryers. I bought these washer and dryers off Facebook Marketplace. They're too small for this big of a house. I would have got like a more industrial size washer and dryer. I built this area out for the washer and dryer to be downstairs. It was initially like a big wall right here, but I only built it out big enough for this size. So now I can't ever upgrade to an industrial size unless I want to rebuild this whole thing. And also this table right here is an extendable table. And so I can fit 12 people at this table when I extend it out, and we'll have the extra chairs out as well, which is really great for people that are wanting to do like corporate parties here, events, whatever it is, for a massive amount of people for like a dinner party or something, which turned out to be a good idea. Pardon the cleaning, they're still in the middle of cleaning this, but downstairs bed, I have a cleaning service that comes in, they pay me, I pay them for this property, $100. It's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, huge, like 2,500, 2,600 square feet. So $100 is great. And the reason why I'm able to get them to come out and do it so cheap is just because I have so many bookings in and out, in and out, in and out, they offered a discount. So for anybody that's looking to do your own Airbnb, if you're trying to pay full price for cleaners, don't do it. You can find cleaners based on the velocity of how much you're going to use them. They'll give you a discount. This is the second bathroom. Cool. So it's cool looking at this now, seeing this whole place look nice and put together, even though it's a little dirty, based on how I first bought it. When I first bought it, it was just not where it needs to be right now. It didn't look horrible, and I'll go into more details, like I said, in a minute about why I chose this property and how much renovation costs and everything like that. But it's great to see it all put together, and I like this little, when I first bought it, I didn't know what I was going to use this little nook and cranny for, because it wasn't big enough for anything. But then I stumbled upon one of my family members happened to have a friend that had a piano they were getting rid of right as I was getting this house, and so now I got myself this nice little piano. Also, another benefit to being an Airbnb host is that guests always leave like the most random stuff. So I have like a random bookshelf of most improved award, I have speech debate, I have random hats, and so now you can just basically come in here and have free stuff. Like anytime that you come in here, you have props for whatever you want to do. All right, so this is my second favorite place in the house. I love this area because it can be so many things to so many different people. These two couches, one of them is actually like a sofa bed, so you can pull it out and turn it into a queen size sofa. So if you want to use this as a crash room, you can use it as a crash room. I also have access to Netflix, YouTube, everything on this big old TV. It's like 70-something inches TV. And so you can just use this as a chill room as well. We used to come in here and watch all the Marvel movies, basically buy them off of YouTube, and just my friends and I would sit in here with some popcorn, and we get like 10 people in here. We just like slumber party it up and just watch everything from Iron Man all the way to Infinity War. And there's great memories here for that. And so it could be a movie room, like a theater. Also, I have the PlayStation. And so you can come, I've been in here with my friends, we all play PlayStation. I bought 4-player games with four controllers. We're all sitting here like going crazy, like Mario Kart style. And then the best part is this thing. Yeah, buddy. I got this 5.1 surround sound system, and you can plug these microphones into the surround sound system, and then it's karaoke night. And so I thought I'd be doing a lot more karaoke nights here, but surprisingly I haven't. I've only done like 1 or 2, but man, when you have a couple drinks in you and you guys don't know what else to do, it's like 1, 2 o'clock at night, and you say, I got a karaoke room. Everyone's like, yeah. Okay, so this room is another one of those like weird rooms that doesn't necessarily count as a bedroom on Airbnb, but I have this like divider curtain, so I list it as a bedroom anyways, I don't care. And then this is a fold-out sofa, and so it allows me to go ahead and list this as an additional space, but you know, you can bend the rules a little bit on Airbnb. Hola! So this is my patio, and it just makes me feel like a king. I don't know why, but I just love looking out here. The sunset goes down right over here. And whenever I have my get-togethers here, I can see my friends walk up on like from way down the street, walking up here, and I could wave at them. That Gatsby party I was telling you about, and then I had this moment where I had like 4 or 5 guys with a champagne bottle, and we were just like shaking it like crazy, slow-mo, shooting out the champagne all over the place. I really wanted someone to be under it, walking out at the same time we're doing it. And I had my friend Brian just losing his mind in slow-mo. It's great to hear him laugh like, oh, 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 oh. And so that was a great memory, great moment, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without this awesome patio. Hallway into the rooms. So I got 1 room, 2 room, 3 room, and bathroom right here. This is the first room, and so this allows 2 king-size beds. And so on Airbnb, a king-size bed, or I'm sorry, queen-size beds. On Airbnb, it has 2 people per queen size, so that's 4 people that can stay in here. So if you also consider the sofa beds, that's 2 people there, 2 people there. So 2, 4, 6, 8 just up here already. This is a tri-bunk bed. And so really I only list it for 1 person, so 1, 2, 3 people. But you can fit 2 people up here as long as they're under 120 pounds per person, 150 pounds per person. You could fit up to 300 pounds per level, but I really don't like that because I get weird about that stuff. Freaks me out. So this is the master bedroom. There's a master bedroom downstairs as well, but this is like the upstairs master bedroom. And so you get the single bedroom, you get the single bed, and there used to be a massage table up here, which was super clutch, but someone broke it, and now I'm trying to get Airbnb to pay me for that broken massage table. And another favorite thing in this house of mine, my crazy sadistic baby head. I don't know why I love this thing so much. It's like this Greek sculpture of just a really insane looking baby head. I don't know. I've got a lot of people mention like, why do you have a decapitated baby head in your thing? I'm like, I don't know, man. Just like it. Closet, bedroom, or toilet. This is jacuzzi, and so allows people to come in here and relax a little bit after a hard day of partying, and a stand-up shower. So I really hope you guys enjoyed the tour of the home. This next part of the video, I'm gonna go through step by step exactly all the details that it took for me to get into this house, the numbers, the investment part, and all that fun stuff. So all you nerds, stick around, make sure that you write notes on this because this is how you can get the same kind of value out of the next property that you buy. Let's go sit down. All right, so here's the number part of the video. So basically, I'm going to break down exactly step by step what happened in this, and then from there, hopefully you guys can kind of see how the numbers work, and then this can be a motivation for you to do this as well. So the property I bought back in December, and I bought it for it was listed for like $350 initially, then it went down to $315, and then I was actually in a contract, like under, it's called option period, which is basically like this period after you offer and they say okay and they execute the contract. So now you're under contract, you're paying $100 to basically be in a 7-day window. And so I was already in on another house that I ended up selling to a buddy of mine. But then I'm just because I'm addicted to it and I'm always trying to find the best deals in the market. This house I already was familiar with, and I love the location, I love the build out of the house, it had a lot of potential. But it got taken off the market, like someone already put an offer in, so I was like, dang it, all right, so whatever. So I went ahead with that other house. And then while I was in process, like 1 or 2 days into that other option period on the other house, this came back on the market. And I was like, oh, snap, okay, this is really cool. And so I went over to this property that we just looked at, and I put an offer in immediately. And so I had an option to either take the 3% commission as a real estate agent or the 3% seller contributions as if you guys have watched my other videos, seller contributions, basically you can put that towards your closing costs in a transaction. So therefore, I was able to come out of pocket with very little money. And so because the other property that I bought, it was a year between the two, I was able to make this into a primary residence and turn the other one to no longer primary residence. So I was able to homestead this one. And so I was able to get in here for 3% down. And so basically for me to get in here, I paid like less than $9,000 to buy this house. Plus the $3,000 earnest money, but here nor there. And so no closing costs, and I was able to put some extra money towards some closing fees and rates and stuff like that. But anyways, less than $9,000. I was able to get into this property. And I was told by the contractor that was going to do the front yard or the backyard and inside that it would cost just under $40,000 for inside and outside, and new fence, new everything. I came in here, repainted everything, painted outside, all sorts of stuff. And that was supposed to be done within because it wasn't major any renovations. And that was supposed to be done within like a 2-month or less period, is what he said. He's like, I don't want to overpromise, underdeliver, so I'll just do 2 months is about the expected time, maybe less. A month in, I came by and I was like, hey, you guys haven't done anything. You guys came in like once. And he's like, don't worry, we're stuck on other properties, but we'll get to yours soon enough. And so now 2 months in, 2.5 months in, I'm sitting here thinking, dang, this is supposed to be on Airbnb. I'm about to start having to pay my mortgage next month. Like, you guys need to finish this up. And so they pushed it out as fast as they could, and then they got the inside done 3 months in. Outside still wasn't done. And so I listed it. I got it up listed in March, and then I had my first booking March 31st, which got me like $2,000 something. And so that was awesome. At that time, I was averaging about $1,500 to $2,500 a month. On my other property, I have the Smurf house. If you guys want to make sure to check out the other one, I'm going to put a card right there as a link, the little white box that pops up in the corner of the thing. Make sure to click that so you can link over to the other video about the Smurf house and the breakdown on those numbers. But so on the Smurf house, I was averaging $1,500 to $2,500 a month. And so within the first booking of this property, I was able to do as much as I normally do on a good month on the Smurf house. And I was like, whoa, this is going to get a little nuts. And so the second month, I was able to really start seeing the ability that this house has. And I was able to play around with the numbers, and I found out the key to success on this property. So let's check out the numbers. So far this year, I have made, up to this date, it's the middle of August right now, and I've made $74,745. And so this is with only having this new listing up since basically April. And so that seems to be a pretty good amount of money. And if I consistently go with these larger months and I do some techniques I'm about to go through, then I might be able to actually go over $100,000 pretty easily this year, and between two properties. So far this year, I've been paid out on $55,000 of it, and I have another $20,000, I have another $19,000 that is coming my way. And so let's go over this. So like I mentioned before, the payout for the Smurf house by itself was $1,362, and then in February 2028, and then I listed this. The first I had one listing for that month. And so the first listing combined with the two brought me up more than double, $4,779, which is awesome. I was like, uh-oh, this is going to be cool. And so I increased the prices, and I increased the weekend prices, and I didn't want anybody coming in during the week because I wanted just basically to live there during the week, invite my friends over. And so what I ended up doing was I increased the weekend rate to like $600, $700 something. But then the weekday rate was like $250, $350. And I didn't really even care if anyone booked the weekday stuff. And so then it didn't really increase the amount that I saw the next month as much as I thought it would. I thought based on how quickly things were booking up on the weekends, then I would see a little more. But I did go up to $7,134 in the month of April. And so I was pretty excited about that. Anyways, I think it's a good point to mention that my mortgage and everything on this house is around $2,500 a month. And then after electricity, water, gas, everything, it comes out to be around, my overhead on this house is around $3,000 a month. And that's not to factor in any kind of damages and replacements and stuff that I have. But a lot of times Airbnb pays for that, so I don't necessarily have to factor that in as much as I would on like a standard rental property. So what I decided to do in May is that I changed my listing up a little bit, and I started putting on there that it's going to be open for big events. And so I listed there it can host over 100 people, and the only caveat is that they have to pay $25 per person over 16 people. Before I didn't have that. That changed everything. And so now I had only bookings on the weekends, single day bookings, and it was always Friday and Saturday, sometimes a couple more days, but it was basically only Friday and Saturday for that month. And it was people coming in for graduation parties or birthday parties. And they'd be like, hey, how much is it going to be for 50 people plus? And so I do 50 minus 16 times 25, and I send it their way. And now I'm getting that $500, $600, $700 like I was before, but I'm also getting an additional sometimes $1,200, $500 to $1,000, sometimes $1,500 because of the extra people that are coming. And then that's what was a huge game changer. And so I started booking a couple more weekdays as well. I booked larger groups, and overall that month in May, I made $15,572 for that month with the Smurf house and the Norma house combined. Now that month in the Smurf house, I made around $3,000. And so overall, I still brought in over $12,000 in 1 month on this property alone. And if you take away the $3,000 that I was going out of my pocket, I made just under $10,000 cash in my pocket for that month. And so that was a really exciting month for me. And also, if you want to factor in that the other renovation stuff was coming in at the same time, that was before I even finished out the backyard. I did the decks, I did the lighting, none of that stuff. And so what I also noticed though on the downside of a month that big is I decided not to have the weekly guests, because in May I decided to start lowering the rate for the weekdays. That way I can make a little more money. But what I noticed is that my neighbors were having bigger issues with the guests during the week. And so on Fridays and Saturdays, it seemed as if my neighbors were giving me slack. You have the right to party at your house on the weekends as long as the cops don't get called, as long as it's not out of control. And so I didn't have any real issues apart from a couple parking issues with my neighbors. But then whenever I started getting a whole lot of stuff booking on Wednesdays and Thursdays, they started calling the cops, and they started giving me a lot of hard time. So I decided to increase the rate up again during the week. And so because I decided to do that, it cut down my next month significantly. And so I went from 15,572 down to just under 11,000 in the next month. And then the next month after that was in June. And then July, it made just over 11,000. And so I'm starting to think that right now where I'm currently at with this property is being the middle of August, we're at about just under $7,000 for both properties combined. I'm thinking where I'm going to be at with this property is a safe zone for me to think about keeping the prices, as I'm shooting for around $7,000 to $8,000 a month average. Right now, if you average in all the months, I'm bringing in just under $7,000 a month if you factor in like the low months and high months. And so I'm going to do pricing strategies to reflect that. I'm going to do long-term discounts for people that want to come with a big group for a long period of time, which is always really nice, but are not so focused on throwing parties. But then for the weekends, I'm going to make sure that's my bread and butter. And so I'm still going to make sure to charge at least $700 a month or $700 a night with those extra fees. I did tack on some extra stuff, like if I find cigarette butts around, I'll charge you $50. If you cover up any of my security cameras, which is very important to make sure I can check how many people come to the party that they're throwing, it's another $1,000. And then if they want to have a DJ, then they have to pay an extra $1,000 as well. And so these are some extra things that I throw in on top of that. And then I make sure to put on there that if they cause any damage to the property, then they're responsible for doing it. So this is basically how I made that $15,000 in 1 month with this property and the other property combined. And so this is a great property. I love it. It does always have headaches though, so keep that in mind. This isn't all sunshine and roses. If you're trying to do this Airbnb investing thing, remember this is work. Eventually over time it gets easier and easier, and you set yourself up some parameters and some guidelines, and then you get yourself some nice equipment and appliances that don't break on you. But so far on this house alone, I've had to replace the air conditioning unit. I had to replace 2 air conditioning units, and I had to get a plumber out here to do some massive plumbing work. I had to replace a water heater. I've had to do all sorts of stuff in the backyard, a lot of electrician stuff, and so overall it's just been kind of a constant thing. But at the same time, if you're going to make crazy money, you got to do crazy things. And so this is going to be an ongoing process. It's not super easy, and it's not going to be completely passive. But if you're trying to get yourself into a position that you're making six figures passively, then you have to be willing to put in the work and the grind in the beginning. And so I'm still only 4 or 5 months into this property, and it's already performing really well. And so what I would like to do is come back to this issue in 6 months or a year, and then we can find out exactly how well it's performed based on this moment right now, August 2019. Maybe the beginning of next year we can see kind of if it continued to do well, or if it started dropping off, if that was just one little spike in the revenue service. I'm pretty happy where it is right now between both properties. I'm consistently bringing in 10 grand a month between these two properties. That's great. I'm bringing in a pretty good amount of revenue, cash flow at the end of that, and I can use those to pay down my debt on the properties and worry about this other. In a future video I'll talk about cash out refi, and I can do that to buy more properties. I do plan on buying another property here in December or January, and then I'm adding a third one to my list, and so I'll keep you guys updated that as well. But yeah, that's basically the breakdown of everything. I appreciate you guys spending your time with me today, and if you have any questions, make sure to comment below. And if you want to hear more success stories like this, I have many clients that have done the same thing that I've done, and so I'm more than happy to interview them and kind of have them break down the numbers like I've done here. All right, guys, thanks so much and have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really do want to receive your comments, because to me, I'm not going to do any kind of paid tutorials or training programs or anything like that. I'm not looking to get paid off this channel, other than just wanting to get paid by your comments and your stories, by me helping you get started in real estate investing, or me teaching you something that was able to retire you sooner than you thought. See you guys next time. Bye.